So this is part 8 of the truck. I get the steering wheel finally installed, start on the wiring, get the exhaust pipe and installed, start working on the exhaust, get a glass pack. Don't get the glass pack installed in this video, but we do get the exhaust on, the steering wheel done, connected, and what else? The wiring, start going through all the wiring, and oh, we get the Weber carb installed. So kind of get ready for first start, hook up fuel lines, that kind of thing. That sound exciting, dog? All right, so this is part 8. Getting a little bit closer. Okay, I'm gonna put the steering wheel back on. And I think the trick to this is a little bit of grease. So I'm gonna put a little grease on. Weird noises today. Ah, that worked. Cannot get these things on. A little bit of grease to hold it. Oh, the turn signal thing is supposed to go on, but yeah, I think this turn signal thing, which don't worry about that right now. Wait a second, is there splines or no? Yeah, there's splines in there. Yeah, looks good. Are the wheels turning? Oh my god, the wheels are turning. Alright. So let's check this out. Operate the camera. If I turn the wheel, oh my god, it's working. There's left, and there's all the way right. Hopefully that doesn't look very right to me. I don't know if that's the same amount of degrees of stock. Too late to tell now. That one turned. So it does work. Is that enough degrees? Oh, the toe end is probably off. I think I made this tie rod like half an inch too long. So if it's too long, yeah, then it would suck in more. So that would explain that. Let's check the other way. They're straight. That looks pretty good to the left. Huh. I don't know. Maybe I should measure my frontier. I don't know what it's supposed to be. How could it be wrong? I mean, it's a rack. That's what it does. It's gotta be right, right? I just realized this is the first time I've had the steering wheel back in since I've finished it. So I took a video before, I forget where it was. I think I did move it forward a couple of inches compared to stock. But I thought it was kind of in the middle of this this little wing mirror. I don't remember. I need to put the seat back in, try it out, but it seems like it's in the right place. Seems like a good place. Who knows? Figure it out when I get the seat back in. Alright, just noticed a little problem. It's not bolted on, but it's a little too tight here. So I need to weld up this hole. When I weld it up, I gotta make it concave. It's gonna be fun. Or I could almost just go straight from there. No. So I need to somehow make this. Oh, it's gonna be fun. I need to make this hole bigger, I think. At least right here. And up here. I was just double checking. Yep, still got clearance. So it does work right there. But It can be better. I'm gonna make it better. All right, so I had a little wobble in the shaft. So I cut this thing apart. It wasn't welded very good anyways, it was tech welded. And I just pounded this back on. I think this is, oh, I don't know, I've lost track now of all these columns. But anyways, this shaft matches this one, and this one is smaller. I think this is the Mazda one. I think this is the R50. So I pounded it through, and hopefully it's straight. Maybe that's straight. I won't know. I'm gonna have to tack it, pull it apart, put it on, see if I get rid of the wobble. I really need this to be nice, straight connection because I took out the U-joint. All right, I'm gonna throw on the exhaust system. Well, what I've got, this is all I have. The truck did come with the original muffler, but it was so full of holes. And actually, I think it did say Datsun or Nissan on it. I threw it away at the place I bought it. I didn't want to haul it home. But I have no idea where this goes before or after the muffler. This is all I've got. And I had a gasket in a box. Brand new gasket set for something. Just spent 10 minutes bending all these flat to get it on. Realized that the holes don't even line up. But outside diameter looks good. Inside was pretty tight. These things were all smashed to bits. So I'm just gonna there we go. That should work now for some 8mm holes. I can't believe I'm putting the exhaust on, but putting it on for a couple of reasons. One, I did order a carburetor yesterday. I'm going to try to start this thing one day, and I got to get this thing out of the bed. I got to put this junk on, even though I do plan on running a header. I do want it running and driving so I can move it around to paint it. So yeah, let's throw this thing back on. Just installed the exhaust. Cut in half. It was too hard to get in here with quick jacks. It fit perfectly, and the studs are metric like I thought. 8 by 1.25, and I just cut this tube right here, and I can put a coupler so I can put the rest on. But stock exhaust still looks pretty good and fits. There's a pretty good shot up rack and pinion from under here, and of course my broken sway bar bolt I gotta fix. But I just noticed something. I welded the this cross member to my temporary spacers. These spacers are just tacked on. They're just to hold the bar up while I could slide it back and forth. They're gonna come off. So technically, yeah, it's not welded at all right now. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna fine tune this sway bar. I was debating whether or not to make another one. I have enough steel of this size and this size and this to make a whole nother cross member as like a version 2. This one does work, no bump steer, but I could make it better because you can see right here there's a lot of room. I could actually clock this thing up and try to get a better angle, and I think if I even notch the frame, which I didn't really want to do, if I did just notch up that corner right up here, I could clock this thing closer to the steering box, you know, to the column. But I'm thinking about just making, it wouldn't take me that long just to make it all another whole another cross member. That way I wouldn't have to. But actually all I would do is cut these 1, 2, 4, these 8 tacks, and just rotate this just a little bit. I don't have another set of these brackets. I went to the junkyard trying to find some and I couldn't find them. I was hoping the Nissan Altimas and the Maximas that use the same rack, but I couldn't really see them. I couldn't really see them in the engine. They're so hard to find. But I couldn't find that other Miata. Alright, I found the fuel line. It's actually right here. There was nothing in it, so I stole the vent line. There's one of these on the other side going to the gas tank to the vent, so I took it from that side and put it over here. After a lot of cleaning, I finally got that nut to go back in. And I noticed I found the oil pressure switch in the bed a while ago. I cleaned it up today, put it on. I took out one of the spark plugs. The spark plugs are all painted for some reason. They look pretty new, but a little dirty. So I wire wheeled this one, number 1. But these ones are all covered in paint. Somebody painted the block. I think this engine's been rebuilt. The starter's got a sticker on it, like it's a rebuilt one or something. So I took the valve cover off, cleaned it, cleaned the cap, and it's pretty dry in here. Looks like it's been rebuilt. So I'm missing a lot of bolts on the intake. I just put the exhaust pipe on. Trying to remember the distributor. This is actually a dual point one. I never had one of those before. I got another distributor that's a electronic one. But I just noticed the distributor looks brand new. This cap, the button's stuck. We got a couple more caps in the back, but it looks brand new. Then I noticed that there's no timing marks. I took the radiator back out. The timing mark indicator is missing, so I'm gonna have to find one of those. I've been trying to find a PCV valve hose that goes from here to here. It's a really weird, funky thing. Got this word cap on there. I can't just plug the PCB. You need to let it breathe. But yeah, we ordered a carburetor, and I think I ordered a fuse box, a carburetor, adapter, air cleaner. I think I'm going to try to get it running. I need to borrow or buy a battery. Just want to be able to drive it around in the driveway, see if it runs. I cranked it over with a wrench, and it felt like there was compression, and it went around like 2 revolutions, so spun over freely. So we'll see if we can start it pretty soon. Well, here's where I stole the vent line. Guess we're done with that. I need to fix the toe-in. The toe-in is way out. But, yeah, that's way too much toe. Got the sway bar off. Need to fix that. What else did I just do? Oh, I actually put the heater back in. Just kind of mocked it up. See what it looks like. Can't actually get it to go, but that's where it goes. I think I might sell that pretty soon. I just don't have a need for it. I really want to put AC in here more than I like that thing. It looks cool, but it's wasting space. So it's gotta go, unfortunately. Here's all the bed bushings. You can see the bed is a little bit too low. I just measured. These are like 1/4 inch. These original, it's like canvas or something. They are 1/4 inch. I found polyurethane new ones 1/4 inch, so I may order those, but put those back in for now. I'm missing a couple. Here's my pile of extra parts that I don't know what to do with. Threw away the clutch pusher plate already. Might throw that disc away. Gas tank brackets, the original clutch master, steering column, may save that. Got an extra bracket and training mount, still with the original Nissan sticker on it. Extra alternator from Washington, where the truck was from. Well, surprisingly, I got those bolts off. It was double nutted. I got all 4 of those off pretty easily. Not sure how I'm supposed to stop that rod from turning, but I got it apart so then I can drill it out. I'm trying to remove that broken bolt. I just drilled an 1/8 inch hole and a bare hole. Now I'm just going to retap it. 3/8 by, what was it? I think it was like 3/8 by 24. I drilled it out, hopefully the right size. This has to drill it out. But yeah, that wasn't too bad. I just cleaned the floor, now it's covered in steel. Okay. So I gotta make a bracket that holds the steering box. So I've got a piece of steel, and I scored it 1/8 inch thick. So drilled 2 holes in this bracket. I'm gonna drill another hole down there. I just tried bending it, but it was tricky to bend because it's so thick. It bent it the wrong way. So the plan is to Put this on here, bend it over, locate this third hole, bolt it on there, make another plate for this one, and then put something between the two. I mean, it doesn't move now, but I just need to bolt that to the frame. Yeah, because I did re-weld this spline, and box moves a little bit. I don't know if that spline is perfectly straight or not, or it's just moving to move. So that's my second attempt at welding the spline straight. I'm going to mount this and see what it looks like. And I think I'm going to put the rubber back in here before next generation. I think I'm going to make another cross member and move the whole rack forward and up, and see if I can get a straight shot from here to there. I need another coupler, so because I chopped this one up, I need another Miata coupler. So I need to go buy another one before I do that. And so I might as well get another set of those brackets and make another cross member. So that way, if that idea doesn't work, I can go back to this idea, because this seems to work. So getting back to this distributor, for some reason all the wires are missing. Not sure why. I guess there was wires going from here, the harness that goes to the coil, I'm assuming. But there's supposed to be bolts in here to connect these points. I wonder if I should look at the end of the harness. So, just little plastic things. I'm assuming there was a bolt and nut that connected the points on the inside to the condenser on the outside. I looked in the service manual. I can't find any pictures anywhere online. I don't remember. It's been since '89 since I had a points Datsun, so I can't remember how this works. I didn't have dual points though either in '74. I'm pretty sure. So this is even that I remember anyways. Found one bolt in the parts bin. Seems to be the right size. Just need to find a nut now, or I need to find another bolt like this. I'm assuming that would have been a nut and bolt. I don't know how this works. I guess you bolt it together and then slide it on. How is this on here? Shoot. Yeah, because I mean, how do I screw that in? There's nothing to screw to. Yeah, so I gotta find some bolts. Alright, this is the wiring harness for the whole truck, minus there's still the tailgate, the bed harness is still in there, and there's a dash harness is in there. So it looks like this is the headlights, one side, the other side comes down to the fuse box. Fuse box is broken in half. There's only 6 circuits. So now I'm trying to figure out, like, what is this circuit here? This blue tape is interesting. I remember when I worked at the dealer in '90, anything with blue tape was an optional extra. So that's an option that this truck didn't have. I'll have to look that up, that color wire. It's interesting that they've all got the same 6-pin connector. I don't remember that. It's been a long time. I just remember that from the ignition switch has got the 6-pin to this day, I think. This one goes off. This obviously looks like the alternator, idiot light, and the ground. That's probably like the oil pressure switch. Yellow with a black. I think that may be the starter or oil pressure switch. Oh, black with a yellow. That looks like the starter switch. Yes, that's obviously the starter and oil pump. Headlights. I don't know what all this is. No idea. This is by the voltage regulator. It was on the fender well somewhere around here. Maybe this is the regulator. And then I got, these go into the dash obviously. Somebody's labeled these like 2, because it's the same connector. So that obviously goes to the dash, those red wires are the headlights obviously. Then obviously we got the, what is this, power? Oh, the alternator, the starters. This must go to the starter? No, this goes to the starter because it goes to the fuse box. So black goes to the starter. Oh, this goes to the block. That's the battery negative. Battery negative block. I guess a body ground. So this goes right to the starter. And then maybe that goes to the, what the hell does that go to? Oh, that's the battery terminal. Battery terminal, starter, fuse box. This circuit's kind of weird. It's going off red and white. It's like a look in the lid. I got the lid for the thing. I don't know if it still tells me which circuit's what. I haven't even looked at the harness in years, and like since I don't know where all these wires go. A lot of stuff that's just cut. I think this is that aftermarket thing I cut off. So a lot of this needs to be detaped. And all these connectors down here, no idea. This is so much harder than new cars. That may be the oil pressure. I mean the voltage, water tip on the block. I don't know. They all look the same. I haven't messed with this stuff in years. White with red. Oh, some of this is kind of near the carburetor. Maybe that goes to the carburetor. Like the electric choke and whatever else. I have to look all these up. This is going to take me forever to figure all these out. And I got these extra ones. There's a stereo, another stereo. This is, I think, the electronic ignition or the cruise control, which I ripped out. But there's other wires in here, so it's almost like when they integrated the cruise control. This plastic stuff is obviously not factory. At least I never used this stuff back in the day. I think they do on maybe now on the newer stuff, but not in the old days. There's a lot of red wires in here. So I think somebody added all these connectors. Hope they didn't cut off the factory ones. These don't look stock to me. I think I threw away all those aftermarket boxes for the cruise control and the electronic ignition. So, trying to get this thing running. I know I could just hardwire what I need. But this is the electronic distributor I got. It's a 2-wire hookup. I don't know if I can get that working. The old distributor with 2 points. I know I just need to run these 2 wires to the coil negative. And then run a power wire to the coil, a power wire to the starter. I got this harness. Obviously this is the 4 wires, is the, 5 wires is another connector here. Is that a ground or something? So they tapped into this windshield wiper because they had intermittent wipers. So a 4-pin is the 4-pin is the wipers. I think there's multiple 4-pins. It'll be around here where it goes to the dash. So maybe that one is the wipers. Turn on the fuse box, then what the hell is that 6-pin? Okay, I'm not sure if I want to start the truck with this harness. I did order a new fuse box, an aftermarket one that's got, I think, 12 circuits. Alright, so I think I figured out the power here. So power comes from the battery here, down the starter. Man, this wire's hard. And somebody tapped into it here for whatever. Goes to the fuse box. So the fuse box, like it's shown in half. One side, so these 4 circuits are powered by the battery. And this white wire comes off of the battery, goes around the white wire. And it goes over to, where did I say it? Over here. The white wire on every Nissan I've had, actually, ironically, is the alternator. So that goes the alternator. And you got 14 volts powering back, powering the fuse box, and powering the battery. So that makes sense. No fusible links or anything, apparently. Then So that's these 4 circuits. So these are powered all the time. So these must be like headlights, whatever, anything that runs all the time. Now this side of the fuse box, these 2 circuits, so this is just stealing power, whatever this is. This wire right here, this black and the white, these come from the ignition switch, which is wherever it is. It goes into the cab, goes ignition switch, and then through these, the white gets power to the ignition switch right there, and then the black and the yellow goes to the starter, black and the white goes back to power the fuse box, the switched fuse box, which is this one here. So that's black with the white coming from the ignition switch. And this is illegal. Somebody's tapped this in. This was going to the coil to power the coil. This is not right. You never power anything on the wrong side of the fuse. So this is dangerous. This is not right. So I gotta get rid of that. So this should be going out to the ignition switch. These wires that come through here, they must go that way. They must go down this branch. So this must go to the coils over here. All that mess, that must go to the coils and whatever else is powered on the ignition switch. This fuse isn't even in here. But yeah, so these are the 3 circuits that actually turn the engine on and off. So what would that be? Distributor, maybe the coil, and maybe the electric choke. Well, I don't know. This thing had a manual choke. I don't know what else it turns on. What else turns on with the switch? Oh, the turn signals. Turn signals only work with a key. So one of these would be turn signals. Brake lights always work. What are the circuits with the wipers? So maybe wipers, turn signals, and the coil. That's about all there is to switch. I finally got the headlights back in. I just stuck in all 4 headlights just to make sure I had enough parts, because I had 2 sets of buckets and screws all over the place. And missing a couple of springs. Well, maybe I have them in those extra ones. But I got enough headlights and rings and all the pieces back together. Still got a few parts left over. Starting to look like a truck again. I did some temporary wiring on the ignition. I ran the temporary ground wire to the points, put the points back together. I gotta change this firing order. The firing order is wrong on this thing. Yeah, this is not the right firing order, I found out. And carburetor should be here in a minute. I just got the adapter. And funny enough, I found this. It's actually for Toyota. This adapter was on the carb, on the intake when I got it. Which is kind of weird. So I just got a 1-piece adapter for a Weber, and ran some fuel line, ran a temporary switch, so I ran the battery cables, just reused the original cables, just put new ends on, full brass ends on each end. I got the negative, positive, got my old jump starter, the starter, got fuel line. This fuel filter is bad, but I've got new fuel line all around here, all the way to the carb. I need to run a piece of this, if I have enough, to the tank. I haven't connected the tank yet. Pretty close to a first start. Let's see here. So what is next? Yeah, I gotta finish this thing. I put the rag joint back in, the steering box. Trying to make a box down here, a mount for that. So I guess we'll throw the carburetor base on. So we'll put the carb on when it gets here. Oh shoot, I'm still missing bolts on the intake manifold. Gotta find some more of these 8mm. Alright, so I don't know if I've ever done a 1-piece. I've done a bunch of Webers before. I just bolted this on. 1-piece. I'm not gonna do any Loctite or anything. I can take it off later and do it. Oh, of course, the gasket doesn't fit. There we go. All right, get those fingers tight. All right, so I don't know why these are a different size than these. These are all, what, 8mm? Did come with the nuts. It's kind of odd. Don't know why it's a double size. I have a bunch of old Nissan bolts, 8mm. I could convert those. I don't know why they came with these little tiny nuts. It's gonna be annoying. Does it say greased adapter? Carb mounting bolts, Weber carb. Longs, that's front of vehicle. That is right. Okie doke. I guess that's done. Alright, so now here's the front exhaust. I cut this because it was too hard to put this in as one piece, so I'm going to put a joint here. And then, as you heard the muffler. Oh, that's a good way to clean your exhaust. So I think somebody cut this here, or I should say, oh jeez, stuff's falling out the end. So I just marked this up on the truck. I'll put a bolt in here, and that mount. I'll put a mark where these are supposed to be. You see, it looks like somebody saws all these apart. But they fit back together perfectly. So we'll weld that back together, and then we're going to put the glass pack on the end there, the stock muffler location. Obviously I'll make a new exhaust when I put a header on it. This is just temporary, so I can start it, drive it for a while. So let's weld it back together. There it is. I think it's a Weber clone. What does that say? Never thought I'd be buying another one of these, but it was only like 80 bucks, so it's actually a little nicer than the last Weber Solix I bought, which, God, I guess was early 90s, 91 or something. Came with a manual choke and a gasket and throttle linkage. I want the auto choke, even though this truck's got a nice manual choke cable on the dash. So I think the hardest part is rigging up the throttle views stock cable. Manual secondary. So this is the biggest problem with the Hitachis, is the vacuum secondaries. This has got manual secondaries. So looks pretty cool. $1 million question. Does it fit? That's the wrong way. I think the linkage goes on the back, if I remember correctly. Hey! And it clears the booster. For some reason I was worried about it hitting the booster. I think the stock air cleaner probably would hit, but actually I do have that still. And they make an adapter to put on the rounds, so you can put it on, but obviously I gotta change the fuel line. I could hook, what's my wiring? I could hook up the manual choke, electric choke. The tricky bit now is the throttle, so I gotta figure that out. So it's, oh, that fits nice actually. So I don't know what that, oh, this looks like the old Z linkage and stuff. So I gotta take this off, put on this stuff. I remember what I did on my older one, I took the Hitachi thing to hold the cable and put that on here. I don't have a carb, so figure this out.